Today we'll discuss about aortic dissection. Aortic dissection occurs when a breach in the integrity of the aortic wall allows arterial blood to enter the media, which is then split into two layers, creating a false lumen alongside the existing or true lumen. The aortic valve may be damaged and the branches of the aorta may be compromised. Typically, the false lumen eventually re-enters the true lumen, creating a double-barreled aorta, but it may also rupture into the left pleural space or pericardium with fatal consequences. The peak incidence is in the 6th and 7th decades, but dissection can occur in younger patients, usually in association with Marfan syndrome, pregnancy, or trauma. Men are affected twice as frequently as women. Now, the pathogenesis. The primary event is often a spontaneous or iatrogenic tear in the intima of the aorta. Multiple tears or entry points are common. Other dissections are triggered by primary hemorrhage in the media of the aorta, which then ruptures through the intima into the true lumen. This form of spontaneous bleeding from the vasa vasorum is sometimes confined to the aortic wall, when it may present as a painful intramural hematoma. Aortic disease and hypertension are the most important etiological factors, but other conditions may also be implicated. Chronic dissections may lead to aneurysmal dilatation of the aorta, and thoracic aneurysms may be complicated by dissection. It can therefore be difficult to identify the primary pathology. Aortic dissection is classified anatomically and for management purposes into type A and type B, involving or sparing the ascending aorta, respectively. Type A dissections account for two-thirds of cases and are frequently also extend into the descending aorta. Now, the clinical features. Involvement of the ascending aorta typically gives rise to anterior chest pain, and involvement of the descending aorta to intrascapular back pain. The pain is typically described as tearing and very abrupt in onset. Collapse is common. Unless there is major hemorrhage, the patient is invariably hypertensive. There may be asymmetry of the brachial, carotid, or femoral pulses and signs of aortic regurgitation. Occlusion of aortic branches may cause MI, coronary, stroke if carotid involvement, paraplegia if spinal artery involvement, mesenteric infarction with an acute abdomen if celiac and superior mesenteric, renal failure, renal artery involvement, and acute limb ischemia usually lag. Now, the risk factors for aortic dissection. The risk factors are hypertension in 80% cases, atherosclerosis, coarctation. Genetic causes include Marfan syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, fibromuscular dysplasia, previous cardiac surgery, CAVG, aortic valve replacement, pregnancy, usually third trimester, trauma, iatrogenic, cardiac catheterization, intra-aortic balloon pumping. Now, the investigations. The investigations of choice are CT or MR angiography, both of which are highly specific and sensitive. A chest X-ray should be performed. It characteristically shows broadening of the upper mediastinum and distortion of the aortic knuckle, but these findings are absent in 10% of cases. A left-sided pleural effusion is common. The ECG may show left ventricular hypertrophy in patients with hypertension or rarely changes of acute MI, usually inferior. Doppler echocardiography may show aortic regurgitation, a dilated aortic root, and occasionally the flap of the dissection. Transesophageal echocardiography is particularly helpful because transthoracic echocardiography can provide images of the first 3 to 4 cm of the ascending aorta only. Now, the management. The early mortality of acute dissection is approximately 1 to 5% per hour, and so treatment is urgently required. Initial management comprises pain control and antihypertensive treatment. Type A dissections require emergency surgery to replace the ascending aorta. Type B aneurysms are treated medically unless there is actual or impending external rupture or vital organ, gut, kidneys, or limb ischemia. As the morbidity and mortality associated with surgery are very high, the aim of medical management is to maintain a mean arterial pressure of 60 to 75 millimeter mercury to reduce the force of the ejection of blood from the left ventricle. First-line therapy is with beta blockers. The additional alpha blocking properties of labetalol make it especially useful. Rate-limiting calcium channel blockers such as verapamil or deltiazem are used if beta blockers are contraindicated. Sodium nitroprusside may be considered if these fail to control BP adequately. Percutaneous or minimal access endoluminal repair is sometimes possible and involves either fenestrating, perforating the intimal lab so that blood can return from the falls to the true lumen, so decompressing the former, or implanting a stent graft placed from the femoral artery. This is the echocardiograms from a patient with a chronic aortic dissection. Color flow Doppler shows flow from the larger false lumen FL into the true lumen TL, characteristic of chronic disease. This is an images from a patient with an acute type B aortic dissection that had ruptured into the left pleural space and was repaired by deploying an endoluminal stent graft. Here, image A showing CT scan illustrating an intimal flap arrow in the descending aorta and a large pleural effusion. In B diagram, aortogram illustrating aneurysmal dilatation, a stent graft has been introduced from the right femoral artery and is about to be deployed. And in the picture C shows CT scan after endoluminal repair. The pleural effusion has been drained, but there is a hematoma around the descending aorta. And the picture D showing aortogram illustrating the stent graft. And the E picture shows three-dimensional reconstruction of an aortic stent graft. This is a sagittal view of an MRI scan from a patient with long-standing aortic dissection, illustrating a biluminal aorta. There is sluggish flow in the false lumen, FL, accounting for its gray appearance. TL means true lumen. This is a type of aortic dissection. There is type A and type B with their complications. Type A, types of aortic aneurysm. Type B, the type A shows coronary occlusion. In first picture, coronary occlusion, aortic regurgitation. In second picture, type A, middle picture shows neurological deficit, loss of arm pulses, renal or mesenteric occlusion, loss of leg pulses. And in type B shows renal or mesenteric occlusion, loss of leg pulses. Thank you, friends.